All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're talking about something fascinating, the most widespread database on the entire planet. And here's the crazy part. It's probably running on the device you're watching this on right now, but you've likely never even heard of it. We're going to demystify SQLite. So let's set the stage. When I say database, what pops into your head? Probably some huge, complicated system, right? A beast running on a massive server, needing a whole team of people to manage it. Constant network chatter. And yeah, for big companies, that's totally a thing. But what if you don't need all that? What if you just need something simple, something reliable, for an app that lives right on your phone or your laptop? And this really shows the two different worlds we're talking about. You've got the heavyweights on one side. These are your traditional client-server databases. Super powerful, for sure, but they come with all this baggage, all this overhead. But then you have SQLite. I love this term, the pocket powerhouse. The entire database, I'm talking tables, your data, everything, it all just lives inside one single file. Think about that. No server needed, no network requests flying back and forth, and, get this, zero configuration.
Okay, so let's really dig into what this pocket powerhouse is. The key thing to understand is that SQLite isn't a program you just double-click and run. It's not like that. It's actually a library, a chunk of code that you bake directly into your own application. It's like giving your app its own private, built-in database that it can manage all by itself. Super easy, super efficient.
You know, the official definition from the creators is just, it's perfect. It's like poetry for nerds. It says it's an in-process library that implements a small, fast, self-contained, serverless, zero-configuration, transactional SQL database engine. Whoa, that's a mouthful, but every single one of those words is packed with meaning and is absolutely crucial to what makes SQLite so special. And to really drive that home, just look at how it stacks up against a giant like Oracle. Oracle is a classic client-server database. It's based on a server, it's massive, and the configuration can be a nightmare. Now look at SQLite. It's the polar opposite on every single point. It's embedded, not client-server. It's file-based, not server-based. It's tiny, not huge. And it's zero config, not extensive config. They're just built for completely different jobs. So let's break down those buzzwords, because they're really important. Serverless just means your app talks straight to the database file. There's no separate server process acting as a middleman. Self-contained means it's a lone wolf. It doesn't need a bunch of other software to work. Zero configuration, that's my favorite. It means what it says. It just works. You don't have to tweak anything. And transactional, this is a big one. It's all about reliability. It means your changes are all or nothing. Either the whole operation succeeds perfectly, or the database rolls back like it never even happened. No half-finished corrupted data. Ever.
Okay, so we get it. It's simple, it's powerful. But how do you actually talk to it? How do you tell it what to do? Well, the great news is you speak its language already if you know any SQL. It uses standard SQL, and getting started is just, it's shockingly easy. Like, if you just want to play around with it directly from your computer's command line, you literally just type SQLite 3. That's it. From there, you use these simple little dot commands. You type .open and then a file name, and boom, you've just created a new database. Want to see what tables are in there? Just type .tables. It's that direct, that accessible. All right, so what can you actually put in this database? Well, SQL keeps it beautifully simple. There are really just 5 basic types of data. You've got null, which just means nothing here. Integer for whole numbers, real for numbers with decimals, text for, well, text, and BLOB, which stands for binary large object. Think images or files, any raw data. But here's the genius part. SQL uses what's called dynamic typing. In most databases, you say, this column is only for integers. But in SQL, the type belongs to the value itself, not the column. It sounds like a small detail, but it's what gives SQL its amazing flexibility. Okay, using it from the command line is cool, but where the real magic happens, where it becomes a superpower for developers, is when you connect it to a programming language. And honestly, there is no better dance partner for SQLite than Python, because support for it is literally built right in. You don't have to install a single extra thing.
The whole workflow in Python is it's so elegant. It really boils down to 4 simple steps: import, connect, execute, and commit. That's it. Let's just walk through it real quick. First step, a single line of code. You just import the SQLite library. And like I said, it's part of Python's standard library, so it's already there, just waiting for you.
Step 2, you connect. You tell it what file you want to use. And here's that zero configuration magic again. If the file my_app.db doesn't exist, this one line of code just creates it for you. No extra steps. It's brilliant.
Then you're off to the races. You use the execute method to run any SQL command you can think of. Want to create a table, insert some data, pull information out? It's all done with this one simple method. And finally, the last crucial step. You have to commit your changes. This is what actually writes everything you've done to the file permanently. This is that transactional part we talked about earlier in action. It's what makes it so reliable. Just a super clean, simple, and powerful process. Okay, so we know how to get data in and out of the database. That's great. But raw data isn't always that helpful, right? The real question is, how do we turn that data into something we can actually use? Let's look at what a modern data pipeline looks like with SQLite at its heart. So here's a super common and incredibly powerful workflow you'll see everywhere. Step 1, you use Python and SQLite to grab the exact data you want. Step 2, you load that data into another amazing library called Pandas to slice, dice, and analyze it. And step 3, you take your results and use a library like Matplotlib to turn it into a picture, a chart, something visual. Now that middle step, the analysis part with Pandas, that's where things get really interesting. See, after we query our SQLite database, we don't just have a boring list of text. We can load it right into what's called a Pandas data frame. The best way to think of a data frame is like a spreadsheet on steroids, living right inside your code. It gives you these incredible tools to do really complex analysis with just a few lines. And this is the payoff. This is what it's all about. With another library, Matplotlib, we take that data frame we just worked on and poof, turn it into a clean, simple chart that anyone can understand. And just like that, we went from raw data buried in a file to a clear, actionable insight. That's the entire pipeline, from start to finish. So when you combine this incredible simplicity with its power and rock-solid reliability, you have to wonder, where is this thing actually being used in the real world? Well, the answer is pretty much everywhere. And it's probably going to surprise you. I want you to just try and wrap your head around this number. The best estimate is that there are over 1 trillion active SQLite databases in the world right now. That's a 1 with 12 zeros after it, a trillion with a T. That makes it, without any doubt, the most deployed, most used database engine on the face of the earth, period. And how does it get to that insane number? By hiding in plain sight. It is the ultimate stealth technology. It's on every single smartphone, both iOS and Android, quietly managing your contacts, your text, your app data. It's inside your web browser, Chrome, Firefox, you name it, handling your history and cache. It's in thousands of desktop apps you use every day. It's in your smart TV, it's in the dashboard of your car, it's even in your digital camera. It is the silent, invisible, completely reliable workhorse that powers our modern world. And that really brings us to a final, pretty interesting thought. You know, we live in this age that's completely obsessed with big data, with huge, complicated, sprawling systems. But there is this incredible, almost forgotten power in a tool that is the exact opposite. A tool that's small, simple, totally self-contained. A tool that just works every single time. So the question I'll leave you with is, in a world of complexity, what problems could you solve with a tool that just gets the job done?